What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and oh my god, we have some stuff to talk about, don't we? I tried to make this go up immediately. Obviously, you guys are seeing this the next day, so we got like 12, 13 hours to kind of just marinate on this news. Halo Infinite being delayed till 2021. The Xbox Series X honestly is in a lot of trouble, so I do want to give my impressions about this, my opinion on this, and really to start this off, I do think it's very important to say, because I'm going to probably get a lot of hate from Xbox fans, which it's fine being an Xbox fan, and I have nothing against anybody, okay? And I think that's the thing I definitely want to get through the most is I have an Xbox, okay? I have an Xbox One. I want a Series X. I'm going to get a Series X within the first year of it coming out. Xbox has not been my primary playing, game console. That's just flat out honest with you, okay? Doesn't mean I have anything against them versus PlayStation. I've been very critical on Sony. I've been very critical on Microsoft, and I'm also very willing to applaud them when they do good things. I've said very nice things about Xbox and PlayStation, okay? Now that soapbox is out of the way, but honestly, it is important because I know I'm gonna get hate saying, my God, you just hate Xbox. I don't. I want Series X to do really good, but this is hard to argue for something positive. Look, I guess if you do want to say something positive, here's what I'll say. Delays are almost never bad things, okay? So if they need to delay Halo Infinite, fine. In fact, even in the video I made a few weeks ago talking about can the game be saved graphically, okay? Visually, you could say there's been problems with it, you can say there's not. However, if you don't agree, that's fine. I think there were some visual problems. They even addressed it in a statement, right? They said, hey, we know that there's problems, it was being worked on, or the thing that we saw was a PC running a Series X build, and it was a couple weeks old, but at the same time, the game only was going to release 3-ish months after that, so is that enough time to fix it? And that's basically what I said in that video. Is that enough time? Is 3 months enough time to fix an issue that's that big? And ultimately, I felt like the answer was no. Well, you could look at this and say, well, maybe they felt the answer was no too. And again, if you're looking at this in a positive way, if we're looking at this in like can Halo still be good? Well, I think Halo Infinite was always going to be solid. I don't think it was going to be a bad game. Was it going to be an incredible game? Was it going to take the steps that Halo needed? Now, again, some people think that, hey, all I needed from it was that it just needs to be more Halo. That's fine. I mean, I completely, by the way, see that point of view. For me, kind of being I'm a Halo fan, but I'm not a diehard. I'm looking for a bit more change, right? I want to see some dramatic steps, in one direction or the other. I didn't see that. Again, it's all where you put your expectations, all what you think, and I'm not going to tell you guys what to think or argue. Completely cool if you don't agree, but that was my thought on it, is that I think this game needs to be improved, needs to be changed, and I don't know if they could have it done in the time that they were giving themselves. Well, the game was delayed. Honestly, if it comes out March, April, whenever it comes out, I really feel like it can fix. If you give it almost like 6 months delay, really, right? They can fix it a lot. They can honestly change a lot of things and make this game a much, much improved game. Now, we knew there was rumors that multiplayer wasn't going to be ready to go, and then somebody came out and said, that's just absolutely not true. Now you look at it and say, oh, okay, that guy was kind of a liar because, well, I mean, again, it's all in the moment, right? Because maybe he thought, no, we can get this all to work, but then they decided, all right, well, we can't get the base game to work in that amount of time, so we got to delay multiplayer as well. So again, if you want to, for the first half of this video, if we want to look at the positives, the positive is Halo Infinite, I don't think is doomed. I don't think this delay destroys Halo Infinite. I think, honestly, it only helps. I think when the game comes out, it can really be a next-gen Halo experience. Now, do I still not necessarily agree with how they're positioning it, where this is basically Halo for the next, 5, 6, 7 years? No, I don't like that. I've always kind of stood on that. I get it that we're in an era where sometimes games are going to just stay around very, very long, right? They're going to constantly be added to. But Halo really is that kind of game that they're making it where it's like, okay, this game is going to be around. We're going to have all these different things incorporated in it, and we're not going to make another Halo game for a very long time. With that being said, again, if you're going to do that, you better at least make sure what you're giving us to start is very good, and maybe they just didn't think they had that. So, again, that's fine. The bad, okay? The bad is, at the end of the day, that is absolutely enormous, and that is such a crushing blow for Series X. Again, there's going to be Xbox fans that attack me. Here's where Xbox Series X is. It's a console that is going to be better in some ways than PS5, and it's going to be worse in some ways than PS5. I think that's very fair. I think the general way that people are saying it, that I also agree with, is Xbox Series X will probably make games look better. I think you can get more graphically out of Series X than you can PlayStation. PlayStation is more about loading, more about ray tracing, more about those. So again, they both have, and this is why I don't understand how people attack me for this stuff. They both have strengths and they both have weaknesses. Here's the strengths of the Series X. The price. The price and the fact that it's powerful are the only two things, which they are big things. I'm not going to discredit them and say, oh my God, those are like the smallest things in the world. No, those are still really big things. But look, we've been told by Phil Spencer that we don't need to get the Series X, that Microsoft's success doesn't depend on if we get a Series X. I have always, since he said that, disagreed with how he worded that. I like their kind of a plan or approach of we don't want to leave people behind. We want to have games be on Xbox One that are also on Series. Like no game is only going to be on Series X for the most part. There are examples where that's not true, where he basically lied, but there, for the most part, that is true. That's fine. I think that's a good thing ultimately, right? Because you're not going to leave people behind. Not everybody's going to get your next-gen console day one. You don't want to abandon, for Xbox, it's probably like 40, 45 million people that have the Xbox One. You don't want to abandon 40 million people, you know what I mean? So I get it. But at the end of the day, telling people you don't need to buy the Series, like don't worry about it, don't buy the Series X. When you say things like that, that's not a lot of confidence. Even though then on the flip side, they talk about how great their system is, they're also telling you, well, you don't have to get it if you don't want to. Which, again, like that's kind of an obvious thing, right? Like for PlayStation, you don't have to tell us that. When they announce the PS5 price, they don't have to say, here's the price. If you guys don't like it, I mean, you don't need to get a PS5. You all have PS4s, right? That's fine too. Do you expect Sony to say that to you? Like, that sounds really bad because then it's like, oh, so you're telling us that your system's expensive and don't worry about buying it. Okay, I won't buy it. I just won't do it. How are they supposed to make money? How are they supposed to sell their system? That's the problem with Xbox. That's their motto or their approach to things. Now, again, what are the strengths? Well, the Series X is going to be cheap relatively. If it's $400, if it's $450, that's not bad, especially if the PS5 is like $500. The Xbox Series S, the digital version, if they can get that thing for $300, that is enormous. At the same time, why are you getting it? The big thing with Halo is, look, yes, it is one game, and I know I've even said personally, in past videos, you can't have a whole system be dependent on one game. Now, I think for Microsoft, in terms of their exclusives, one of the things that people have said, which I do agree with, and again, I'm sorry if you disagree, one of the main weaknesses is that they have built their lineup on only a couple things. Gears, Halo, and then Forza, if you're into Forza, right? But they have very limited exclusives. Like Ori is a cool thing. I love Ori is a great game, a great game franchise, but it sells 1-2 million units. Not enough. Again, Fable's been gone for a long time. When that comes back, that'll probably be, I'll include that, okay? Again, Gears, Halo, Fable. But besides that, they don't have, Sea of Thieves is massive, but it's on PC, and you could say, okay, well, the Xbox's approach is play anywhere. That's fine, and I think that's a good approach. Obviously, they're doing things different than PlayStation. My general point is this. You're going to go out and buy a Series X this fall. Maybe you were going to do it because of Halo. I think a lot of people, maybe not the majority, but say 30% of the people that were going to get the Series X this fall were going to get it only because of Halo Infinite. You just lost that 30%. Say it was 35, say it was 40, say it was 50, say it was 20, say it was 10. However much percentage you say, you have lost those people. The people that were only getting it for Halo because that was maybe the only thing. And by the way, I'm not saying like, oh, Sony's lineup is so much more impressive. I've talked about it. I don't think it's all that impressive. I think Spider-Man Miles Morales is decent. I don't even think that could maybe go toe-to-toe with Halo Infinite. I think it would be a solid matchup, but it's not a guarantee that Miles Morales is going to crush it, okay? And besides that, PlayStation doesn't have many either. So again, this is not just an Xbox thing. PlayStation needs some more games too. I definitely agree with that. I love the indie games PlayStation has talked about that are releasing. I love some of the Microsoft, the Medium. I love what the Medium looks like. With PlayStation, like Kenna Bridge of Spirits, I love that. So they have some gems in the rough that are going to be releasing with these consoles, which is fine, but you need the big guns. For PlayStation, it was Miles Morales. The question I always had was, can Miles Morales beat Halo Infinite? And the answer was, I'm going to kind of say, I don't know yet until it actually happens. Right now, can Miles Morales beat nothing from Microsoft? Yes, it can. That is the biggest issue. Now Xbox Series X launches, and you even look at their statement when they talked about, okay, Halo's delayed, and here's like our blurb, like Xbox Series X is still launching this fall, and they announced like the games. There's nothing. There's no big trip. Their biggest things are going to be like Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, like those kind of games. And those are third party. People are going to get that on PlayStation too. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not anti-Xbox. I'm not because I'm going to get the Series X within the first year, okay? I'm not anti it, but this Halo Infinite delay is not something I expected to see on my computer at 1 p.m. Central Time, okay? I mean, it's just absolutely not what I expected. That is bad. That is really, really bad. Not because I'm not into delays. No, if the game needs to be delayed, I'm not saying put it out in a garbage version in November if it's not ready. Ultimately, that would probably be worse because then you'd have millions of people playing it at launch and saying, this is absolutely atrocious. Why'd I do this? And that's a backlash you don't want. Now, they don't have to worry about that. Now you delay it out of there, which is fine. And again, that's good for Halo. But for the Microsoft ecosystem, for the Xbox Series X, that is a pure disaster. Why are people going to get the Series X now? Yes, again, there'll be reasons. There'll be reasons. It may come out first. It may be cheaper. It's more powerful. Your friends have the Xbox and they're getting it. Friends are important. Friends are powerful. You get things that your friends get. That's just how things work. So again, I'm not saying it's doomed. I'm saying it's in some serious trouble that I didn't think it was going to be in yesterday. Okay? That's basically what I'm saying. Man, this is something, guys. This is honestly something. I did not expect this. You got to wonder what else. Is there maybe even things from Sony that maybe will eventually get delayed that weren't intended to? We'll have to see. But this is definitely a big deal. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think this is a big deal? Are you happy that Halo may now get the treatment it needs, but do you understand where I'm coming from with the Series X? Do you disagree? Totally fine, by the way, if you do. Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on the next one.